Hey guys, my name's EthGoesBOOM and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to be doing something different, and it's something that I haven't actually done since my very first video on this channel, and I'm going to be discussing a Five Nights at Freddy's theory. And now this is something that I've wanted to get off my chest for quite a while now. There's a very popular theory floating around the Five Nights at Freddy's community that the character BB, or Balloon Boy as some people call him, is a hallucination, meaning he is not real in the game. Now, in my opinion, I think this theory is absolutely ridiculous, and I just want to give my my reasons as to why. And I've noticed that a lot of popular YouTubers like Smike and 8-Bit Gaming, those guys are really cool, they've talked about this theory, and they all seem to think that it's true from what I remember. But I think I'm probably one of the few people that thinks it's absolutely ridiculous, and the pieces of evidence that people are kind of giving to support this theory are really ridiculous. Like, just from the top of my head, the first one was that BB is not mentioned at all by the phone guy. And I think there's actually a very good reason for this. BB is probably the least important mechanic in the entire game. And Scott, when he was developing the phone calls for the game, he probably didn't want to make them too long. And I know some of the phone calls in the series are very long, mostly the night one phone calls. But as the nights go on and on, the phone calls get shorter. And I don't think Scott would want the audience to know everything that's going to happen, because it is a horror game and it's got jump scares. And he's going to want to surprise you, so you get the full experience of the game, you know. I mean, he's not going to have phone guys say, and there's BB, and he's going to come into your room and disable the lights and vents so you can't see anything. Like, you know, he's not going to say that, because that would ruin everything. And, like, I understand why this piece of evidence kind of supports the theory, but I honestly think that the reason why he wasn't mentioned by Phone Guy at all is because he's just a not very important mechanic. I mean, think about it. He is the only character in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that does not kill you. He can get into your office, but he doesn't actually kill you himself. So I don't think, despite the fact that he is dangerous, but I don't think, because he doesn't kill you, Phone Guy doesn't really need to warn you about him. But yeah, that's basically my reasoning behind that. And I did have a thought that possibly BB was added very late into development, into the game, and that's possibly why he doesn't appear on the phone calls. Maybe Scott didn't add him until like the very last minute. I know that during the development of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, Scott did say that there were a couple of characters who didn't make it into the first game, and so they were going to be in the second game. So I'm guessing that one of these characters was the puppet, and the other one must have been BB, but there's still the possibility that he was just added late into Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And even if he was planned from the very beginning, maybe Scott didn't think of adding him until the very last minute into the second game, but who knows, I'm rambling now. Let's go to the next piece of evidence that people are suggesting. The next thing that people are saying is that BB does not appear at all in the death minigame. Now, the minigame I'm referring to is the one where you play as Freddy and you have to chase the puppet. Now, in this minigame, you can walk into basically every room of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 pizzeria, and you can see all of the characters in the game wandering around, except for BB. You can see the old animatronics in the parts room, you can see the new ones on the show stage. If you go to Kids Cove, you'll see Mangle, and Golden Freddy randomly appears in the building, and of course you play as Freddy and you follow the puppet, but BB does not appear himself. And a lot of people are saying, oh, because BB doesn't appear, he must be a hallucination. And this goes back to what I was saying before, where BB was possibly added into the game very late. It's possible that Scott just didn't have time to put him in, because as we all know, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was actually released earlier than it was supposed to be, so it's possible that he just didn't have time to put BB in. Or again, BB is not important, he's the least important character in the entire game, so maybe Scott just either couldn't be bothered making a sprite for him or just didn't feel like it was necessary. I mean, what's the point? I mean, when you think about it, BB is the only character in the franchise who does not really play any important part in the story. Like, basically all of the animatronics do. The old animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and Golden Freddy are possessed by the children. Springtrap is the killer. The puppet was the original child that was killed. The toy animatronics are their replacements, and they basically were given the old animatronics spare parts, like Bonnie's head and Chica's arms, etc. Well, same thing for Mangle, but BB doesn't really, he isn't that important when you think about it, because there was no old BB, there was no original version, and he, as far as we know, this hasn't been confirmed, but he's not possessed, as far as we know. I might be completely wrong about that, but in my opinion, I don't think BB is possessed. And if that's the case, then he's really not important. It's almost like he's just there for the sake of being there. He's just kind of there to provide a different game mechanic to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And yeah, so maybe that's why he doesn't appear in the minigame, and he isn't mentioned in the phone calls. I think people might have thought of this because of the whole JJ thing, or Balloon Girl. There's a special version of BB that can appear under your desk, and he has different colors. I agree that BB is a hallucination, but I don't agree that the normal BB is, just for these counter arguments that I've said. But, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. If anyone believes in that theory, then go ahead. Feel free to believe in it. It's just, I think, because I haven't seen anyone on YouTube try to debunk this theory. And it's such a ridiculous theory. Like, I don't even... Is it because people hate BB so much that they want him to be not real? It's like, ugh. So, yeah, just to clarify, I do think Balloon Girl, or JJ, is a hallucination, and obviously Phantom BB in the third game is a hallucination, but I don't think the normal BB from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a hallucination. I think he's very real, and just because he doesn't kill you doesn't mean he's not real. You got to remember, he does disable your lights and your flashlight, so how could a hallucination do that? Like, why would your player just suddenly decide to not use the lights because BB is in your room? It's obvious that because of that, he is very real. Oh, actually, I just thought of something. There's one more thing that proves that he's real. There's pictures of him, like pictures of him drawn by children around the pizzeria in the second game and the third game. So if he was not real, why would children be drawing pictures of him? I don't think the player would be randomly hallucinating pictures of BB. It just doesn't make any sense. But one thing, speaking of BB, one thing that I've always been intrigued by with that character is the fact that he talks. And, I mean, like I said before, I don't believe BB is possessed. But he still says hi and hello in a children's voice. A child's voice, sorry, that was bad grammar. Yeah, he still says hi, hello, and he laughs. So, however, you do hear those same sounds in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, so maybe that's just his voice box. Maybe in the third game you take his voice box and you use it to distract Springtrap. I think I just kind of figured that out on my own. Yeah, I thought maybe because BB talks, maybe that means he's possessed, but I honestly think that maybe that's just his voice box. Like, maybe he says hi to the kids when he gives them balloons or something. But anyway, I don't want to talk about this for too long. So yeah, guys, that's my debunking on why I think the BB is a hallucination theory is completely false. Doesn't appear in the phone calls or the minigames because he's just not important. He's not important to the story. Scott possibly added him at the last minute, and that's the end of that. So thank you guys for watching and considering my debunk. This wasn't really a theory, but it's more of a debunking. Although I guess I kind of provided a bit of a theory as to why BB talks. So if you guys, what do you guys think about that? Why does BB talk in your opinion? Now, my opinion, he talks because of his voice box, and then you use the same voice box in the third game to distract Springtrap. So anyway, yeah, so that's basically this theory that I wanted to talk about. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you want to, because it really supports my channel, and also the same for liking. Please like my video, and I might do some more theory videos because they're really fun to do in the future. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone.